Okay. Um, if you can't hear me, I'm going to type it in the chat. If you can't hear me, let me know. We got it kind of done. Okay. So I got a new arm for the camera here. So now I have like 2 feet between my camera and the table. So it took out all the fluff. And the nice thing about this is I can raise and lower it depending on what I'm going to be working on. And it's not this. This is what I had before. and I had the camera taped to this 1x2 and had that in the claw, and this is all kinds of wibbly and wobbly, but it worked, and it cost me $5. Well, technically $10 because I had to buy 2 pieces, one to get the claw and one to get the arm, but I use the other piece to hold my phone over here. So it cost me $10 to get a camera holder and a phone holder at Five Below, and I've had that for 2 years now. So, excuse me. Thank you to the art angel that sent me the arm that has been on my wish list for a while now. It's one of those things where it's like, do I buy tech stuff, to level up the live streams, or do I buy art stuff? And of course, art stuff always wins out. So, whomever is on Facebook, I'm going to see if I can see who. Wow, their Facebook is getting like really like snarky. It's like, you need to start your live stream. It's like, dude, for real. All right. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing I need to do. So many things. Okay, I'm going to try and bring up Facebook because it doesn't let me see. No, that's not it. It doesn't let me see who is commenting. There we go. There we go. Come on. It's Miss Karen. Okay. Hi, Karen. Okay. I want to make sure the volume is down now because I don't like hearing myself any more than I have to. Okay. So let's get this keyboard out of the way. There we go. Okay. So I did a prototype of the book that I want to make with you guys, sort of. I'm going to change the paper on the inside. I'm going to take the lined paper. We're going to use different paper. But you can see I did the twirly-gig little button, and I've got a little charm and a bead. And then you open it up, and it's got a pocket and then a few pages of coffee stained paper with some stamps done to it for interest. And then another little stamp on the back side, and then just a little eyelet hole to hold the string. So this is my prototype because I wanted to kind of know what I was doing. And I've made a couple of these. I made the other one too that's going to be for sale. this one's going to be for sale, and then this one that we make together is going to be on the giveaway. So there's going to be a little bit more into this one. So we're going to get the book made. We're going to get it like made to the point where we need to start embellishing, and then next Friday, we will embellish. And I just want to let you guys know now that the last 2 weeks of December, we are off from live streams, but depending on what's going on in the world of me, I might just, like, when I'm recording or whatever, I might just pop the go live button and go live with you guys. So while I'm recording, because I can record and go live at the same time, because I use the same software that I use to record. The same software I use to record is the same software that I use to go live with. So that way you can kind of get a behind the scenes look at what I'm doing. Sorry, I needed coffee. It's my way of hydrating. Okay, so this is the paper that I used for the pockets. This is just, it kind of looks like linen. Like it's got that fabric look to it, and I coffee stained it. So it's got that coffee stain look to it too. So very vintagey looking. We'll be using this paper for the inside pocket of this. And okay, Tish had a brain fart. There we go. So what I wanted to do with this one, I ran inside and got it. That's why I was a few seconds late getting to y'all. So this is 5 by 6, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 5 by 6. So it's 10 inches long. I think it was 10 and a quarter. I don't know. I had to cut off because there was on this side of the wallpaper, it has this like little bit of this, so I cut it off. But this is that wallpaper that we did the elemental paper on, with the tissue paper and stuff. And I will, with the tissue paper, I had to go back, and you can still kind of see some spots that had air bubbles. But I just went in with a corsage pin. If you don't know what a corsage pin looks like, I will show you. I'll just use this my cleaning rag. But that's a corsage pin. It's about 2 inches long. And it's got a fine point to it. And I use these things for a lot of different things, but you can go to Walmart and get a box for like $2 or $3. There's bigger ones, and I actually want to at some point after the holidays go in and to the local floral shop here and say, hey, can I buy a couple of corsage pins? Because they have ones that are like this long, that are like 4 or 5 inches. But I just went through and popped the bubble and then squished it down, popped the bubble and squished it down. And I did that as it was drying. And then once it got to be too tacky where I couldn't do that, I just let it roll. And so another thing you can do, if you have a lot of pockets that you missed, is you can just pop it with the pin, put some glue on it, and then work the glue down and work it in there, because the paper is still going to absorb it. So there's some troubleshooting tips for you. But so it turned out really cool. I mean, that looks I think it looks awesome, but not to toot my own horn, toot. So we're going to do that. So we're going to cut this. I'm actually going to, let's cut it for width first. Okay, I've been working, I'm going to show you this too, because we're going to make these, this is going to be one of our embellishments for next week. I'll show you here in a second. Got so much stuff on my table. I need more of those acrylic blocks because that was kind of my hiccup yesterday, is having to change out my stamp every 5 seconds. Well, I mean, it doesn't take long to stamp something. Then you got to switch it out. Then you know. Okay, we're gonna put stuff away. Keep that out because we're gonna need that and that. Let's move this out of the way. Glue out of the way. This goes back over here. I gotta find the acetone. I know it's around here somewhere. I'm gonna put this back in the bin, even though I have. Okay, so stack these up over here. There we go. That's kind of cleared off. I know I should have cleaned it better, but oh well. We're gonna work on that today too. We got tons of stuff we can do today. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, because I know this is relatively straight. Like nothing in my life is straight. What do you talk about? What you talk about, Willis? Okay. So we're going to take this and we're going to lay this down. And because I'm a klutz, and I know I am, we're going to take a piece of tape. And I need to get some more of my green tape because I'm trying some experiments here, because art supplies are so expensive and I'm trying to find ways to cut some corners. So where's my big stick? Oop. Oopa. Okay. Oh, I did it on the half. See, I'm not paying attention. Okay, hang on. We're going to move this over. We're going to do it on the 10, on the full 10, not on the 11 and a half, because that way we can count off what we need to count off. Okay, so we got that lined up. But, okay, someone who shall remain nameless suggested I go to scrapbook.com for stuff. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's going to be a dangerous adventure. And it was. I didn't spend any money. I just filled up my cart, and $300 later. But they have this like tape that's just like this, that's like non-tear tape for paper. And I'm like, well, that's just painting tape. I just got to find a brand that doesn't tear the paper, because I know they have a low tack one. So I got to find it. Okay, so we're going to cut this at 6.5. So there's 16.5. And there's 16.5. And I scrubbed my board the other day, and I scrubbed the marks right off of it. I don't use these marks right here, but I do use these. So I don't know. I'm going to have to flip my board around. I've had this self-healing mat, though. I paid like, I don't know, back in the day when Hobby Lobby still had their 40% off coupons. I paid like $25 for it. Okay, so here we go. And I'm giving really firm pressure so I can do one even stroke. You can get refill blades for these. I got this one at Walmart. I think it was like $8, but you can get refill blades for them. I'm going to do a product review on those at Harbor Freight. So once I figure out, once that like dies and doesn't have any use for it. So we're going to be making, I want to show you this real quick. So this is my prototype. And you're like, well, what the flop is that, Tish? It is a paper clip or a bookmark. There's a paper clip inside. You can kind of see where the paper clip is. So this is my prototype. I could see the paper clip. I did not like said paper clip. So this is going in my pile of personal use stuff. And I modified the design a little bit to have some cardstock. So you can't see the paper clip now. So We're going to be making something similar to this to go in our art journal next week. So, and then the other side has stuff too. Because I figured, it's got two sides. We got to make both sides pretty. So I got 5 of those to sell on the website. I worked on those yesterday. But we're going to make this kind of thing with this. And I don't know what we're going to use for it yet. I haven't decided that part yet. But so we have this scrap that we can use for the other projects. So we're going to set this over here in the live stream project pile. And then I'm going to peel this tape off. And we can reuse that tape. Okay. Hang our big stick up. Get it out of my way. Okay, so we need this to be 10 inches. So what we're going to do first is we're going to get our cutting board out. Dude. Okay. First, we're going to cut just a little. You know what we're going to do? I'm going to see what we're at for this. So, dude. I've been saying dude a lot lately. So we're at 10, 16. So let's cut 5 inches off of this. You go over here anyway. Why are you over there? So we're going to cut, 5 inches off of this guy. Yep. I'm going to do it this way. Okay. Because that'll give us a little bit of room to work with. We're actually going to go a little bit over 5. There we go. So we got this little scrap too that we can do some fun stuff with. So, and I really love this wallpaper. It's really textured, but it's tough. I mean, it's like, I don't know. I mean, it does rip, but not very easily. I just ripped it on purpose, y'all. So don't have a cow. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, flip it over. I forget that this thing's in here. I don't really, this is the one thing I don't like about this. It's like, I wish it was something here that you pulled out and it continued, because you got this huge gap here. What if you want to measure something between 6 and 6.5? You know, because, yeah. So, I'll mark this. I'm going to do 10 1/4. Because once we get it folded, we might need to trim it down, and that'll give us a little bit of trimming space. And then even this stuff, even this, we can, trim this down, take a scissors to it, and use it as an element in something. So it goes in the scrap bin. Because that's kind of tedious. It's taking it out every time you need to cut something bigger than 6 inches. I mean, I like the fact that it breaks apart, but I have a full review coming in January. I think it's January, of all this new stuff that I've been getting and all this fun stuff. So, let's fold it this way, see what it looks like. Oh yeah, that's fun. Because we've got this one, or we got this way. So we're going to hold it here. We're going to give it a pinch. We're not going to do a major thing until we have it squared off. Go. Okay. So now we're just going to give this a nice rub. And if you're sensitive to touchy-feely stuff, you might want to put a glove on, because it's really textured. Okay, so there's the beginnings of our book. So we're going to put the pockets in and all of that, but we're first, what happened to that paper? First, we need to put this on and punch this. So, ¿dónde es? There it is. Okay, so for my pockets, I have adopted the practice of, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. I don't glue like the edge down. I cut that flap down so it's like a gusseted pocket. So when you go to stick something in there, you can go all the way to the edge. Let's see. It's gonna let me show you. So you can go all the way to the edge and put your item in there. Most people just like tack it down here so you lose like a half an inch. Well, I do the gusseted or whatever you want to call them pockets so you can go all the way to the edge. So in order to do that, we have to do a little bit of measuring, not much. It's not a big deal. If I can do it, you guys can too. So we know that so here's the bend in the cover. So let's line this up to an easy counting. So we're at 5, okay? So we want to measure this piece to give us a half an inch to score and a half an inch to score on either side. So it's at 5, so we're going to cut this at 6, and hopefully we'll have enough paper. Yeah, we'll have enough paper to do a back. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do 5.5, because then it'll make it 4.5 and it'll give us a little wiggle room on either side. So let's do 5.5, just because I like to have this line. The line is at 5.5, and that's the other thing I don't like. It like the end lines end. Okay, so this should be, yeah, this will be 3.5, which is 3, because we're going to hang it this way. So yeah, we're fine. So this one is actually perfect already. And then this one, we've got it. And then we're going to cut it. Let's see, this is 6.5. So we're going to cut it at 3.5 for the height. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah. So 3.5. Right. Let's just do 4, and if we don't like it, we can cut it down. Okay, so this is our scrap paper. We're going to put that in the scrap bin so we know what we're doing. Okay, so this is going to go here. This is going to go here. We want to get all this ready. So when we're doing the assembly bit, okay, so I got my scoreboard out. It's called a Score Pal. And it goes down to 1/8 of an inch, which is nice. But there's some wrinkles in there. I kind of like that. First thing I do with this, though, before we go scoring about, is because this is a really kind of cheap paper. And I don't mean cheap like it was cheap to buy. I mean it was cheap like they made it cheaply. So, okay, my masking tape fell. I know it did. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, so what I do to kind of give it some oomph is I take the masking tape and put it on the back side. So I'm just going to use the scissors here. There's something on here. I don't want it on there. There we go. So I just take that, and this doesn't have to be perfectly aligned because no one's going to see it. But I just want to make it, reinforce it. So when we make our folds, if it does start breaking away, we at least have something reinforcing it. And it's just an extra little step that I like to do. And like I said, it doesn't need to be perfect. No one's going to see it. And that goes in the garbage. Come on. Tape and I are not friends. So if I do this, you know it's because I love you guys. Like, I love the people that are going to be using my stuff. So I try and make it so I know it'll last. Tape and I are not friends. If you've been with me like for the long haul, like the whole 2 years, then you know this because I've always said it. That's why I don't tape the back of my coasters and I don't tape a lot of my other stuff. Okay, so that's that pocket. We're going to score these here in a minute and get them all prepped and ready to go. So we're going to be using this as the top. So let's put our tape here. And we're just going to cut. I like using straight edges just because it just looks neater, more neat to me. And if it, if it feels good to me, I'm going to be proud of it. And more apt to share, if that makes any sense. One of the things that I'm thinking of doing for the new year, let me know what you guys think of this idea, is actually doing, if we do the Friday morning live streams and you guys are available, we'll just do it kind of as a hangout session. Like I'll have a project in mind and then we can all go live together. And it'll be just members only. So if you're shy or whatever, just a way to kind of hang out and not be in front of the masses. So this is why things take me so long, is because I do these little details. And some of it's just because I don't have the right equipment right now. So I'm trying to do things with one acrylic block. Well, I have two, but I can't seem to find the other one. So, it's just silly little things. So let's burnish this down. Okay, I don't think think we did this one real well either. We got the one, but we're just going to do it again. It ain't going to hurt nothing to do it again. Make sure we get those creases. That was the other thing. They had a boning tool, a bone tool that was probably twice the size of this. And it was like $25. I'm like, really? Okay. This is a woodworking or a pottery tool. I got the whole set for like $5. So, anywho, I'm not bashing anybody, really, I'm not. But hold on to your money, people. Spend it on what's important. Okay, so when you score things, you want to score on the side that you're folding away from. So we're going to lay it down like this, and we're going to score a 1/2 inch on either side. So this is 7, so we're going to go 6.5. And you don't want to put a lot of pressure, especially on this cheap paper. Just, I don't know, enough to make a mark. And then this is 3.5, so we're going to go to 3. There we go. And then I don't know if you're going to be able to see the score marks there, but we're going to cut at an angle. We're going to cut it like just straight across, like so. So it just nicks that corner, and we'll come back and probably cut a little bit more off. And then we're going to do just this right there, like that. So that's the top. And we're going to do the same thing on this, and we're going to do the exact same thing on this side. And snip. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with this. We're going to do, this is 4. You can see it goes up to 4, so we're going to do 3.5. And this is the cool thing. If we don't like it, the pocket in there, we can just take the paper cutter and cut it down. So 5.5, we're going to do 5 and then 1/2. Okay, now you don't need a scoreboard. I just like it because my brain, I need to have everything in front of me. You can just do it on, you can take an old folding book. Let's see if I have one. This has become my punching board, so it's got a few holes in it now. But you can take a phone book, put your paper on there, make your marks on where you want to score, and then take this and line it up, and then take something pointy like this and just score it. So you just want something a little bit squishy underneath. So you could even use just a handful of copy paper, you know, just like 4 or 5 sheets. You don't have to use a phone book. Michael got it in the mail. So good morning, Janice. Sweet. So we'll have Janice. I mean, I know Karen has responsibilities on the weekdays because she's got her gig. But anybody else that's out there that's watching this, if you want to just hang out and just we'll kind of work on a project together. If you want to do that, probably won't start that until after the first of the year. So, okay, so we're going to do those snippet things again. We're just going to snip. And like I said, we're going to probably come back and cut a little bit more, and you'll see that in a second here. Okay. All right, so we're going to fold these. I always do the bottom first. I don't know why. And then I do the sides. And I just kind of finger fold it. I don't like score it down or anything or burnish it down. Okay, so you can see how I cut it, and it's actually lining up. It's actually lining up. I'm getting kind of good at this. But sometimes, like, oh, I did a really good job there, Tish. Good job. All right, yay me. All right, maybe that one I didn't do so good, and I can show you. Okay, so this is what's going to go here, which I think is a little tall, but I kind of like it that way because it looks like these flowers are coming out of there. So I think we're going to leave this. So what we're going to do is we're going to round these corners. Okay, so and sometimes if you're using really heavyweight cardstock, it won't go in the hole. So you can go in and cut this down so it'll at least go in. I found I had that problem before. Okay. Uh-oh. That's no bueno. Well, we're going to have to cut it down. Hold on. It cut it all wonky. That's okay. Wait, this is why we have this. So, let's see here. We're just going to line it up. Right there. We're just going to take the fur off of it. Nope, that didn't take care of the fur. All right, so line it up. Find a place to line it up. And then I'm cutting this at 8 centimeters, which is like just over 3 inches. So we still got that height. See, this is how much I had to, but see, it didn't cut it right. Do you see that little thingamabob hanging off of there? Come on, camera. I didn't turn off the autofocus. That's being stupid. That's okay. It's the only thing I don't like about the Logitechs. You either got autofocus from hell or you ain't got none at all. Okay. There we go. And then this corner. I got this corner punch at Hobby Lobby when they have their paper studio stuff on sale for 40 or 50% off. I think this cost me like $5. So Hobby Lobby for the win on that one. I'm not real happy with Hobby Lobby right now because they took away my 40% off coupon. And everybody's like, oh, it's a marketing ploy. They'll bring it back. I'm like, no. No, they're not going to bring it back. Okay, so all these scraps that have tape on them, I'm going to put these in the trash because I don't want to put those in my paper making bin or my scrap bin because I don't want to reuse them when they're too small to reuse. Okay, so we got rounded corners, and the next thing we do is we get the right punch out. Hang on. I gotta move all this stuff off of the top of the... And I'll have to, once I get everything set up again, kind of like all the ceiling stuff that I'm going to do, I'll do a studio tour just for you guys. Okay, so where do we want the little fingerling hole? I think we want it on this side because we're going to have a thing that we're going to try and cover here. So we're going to put it right about here. So if you take the cover off of your circle punch and then find out, like for me, these little grooves are about little under halfway. So that's why I flip it around. I just kind of eyeball it. Again, handmade. So if they want perfect, they can go shop at Hobby Lobby. And even Hobby Lobby stuff is like not that great. Okay. So we're going to ink this up a little bit. If I can force some ink out of this pad. It's the reason why I went to scrapbook.com is to see if I can find the re-inkers. But I don't know. They said they have them at Joann's, but I have never seen them in the store. Maybe they have them. And I just was looking in the wrong spot. So I'm just going to kind of, the main reason why I ink like paper like this, because you can't really see the ink, but it's just to get this white off the edge, like that white, which we don't need to worry about on this piece, but it's on this edge, and I want it to be so there's a definite edge there. Okay, so there's that one done. Set that aside for a second, and then we're going to fold this guy up, give him a finger press, and this guy, make sure they're, I must have cut that crooked. Holy Hannah Banana. Okie dokie. Well, that's really crooked. All right, let's fix that. There we go. I fixed it. Okay, so you can see on this one that I had to fix that I don't have that little gap there, and this is going to give us some bunching. So all I do is I come back in with the scissors and cut a little bit more of an angle just to the corner, like that. So you just, nope, it fell wherever it went. So I just took just a teeny tiny bit off, and now I've got that little bit of a gap again, so we're not going to have that piece of bulk right there. All right, did I do this one better? I need to just cut this little edge right here. Okay, so now once we make sure this is straight, looking good, looking good. Then we're just gonna finger press this down. I don't want to brayer this or whatever, burnish, that's what it's called. Okay, so let's round the corners. Let's try that again. Sometimes the tape gets in there and it sticks. There we go. Okay, so I'm just lining that up, pushing it down, and then I'm going to cut this little tab off that's right here. See that little pointy? I'm going to cut him off. And just kind of, just to the edge there. There we go. And it's just me paying attention to detail. It's just my thing. No one else is probably going to notice it but me. But if I don't feel safe doing it, then okay. So I'm going to put this one right here. This, like the little finger hold right here. So I'm going to mark where I have it and then line it up. Okay, this piece can go in my little scrap bin, because those are kind of fun to use as like little embellishments. And then, so you can you kind of see that? Where it's white. And then I'm just going to take my ink. So, because otherwise it's white on white and it won't stand out. You could even use a blue or a black. In fact, you know what? Maybe I'll use the black on some stuff here, because I do have the Distress Oxide black suit. But Vintage Photo is my favorite. I don't know. I do have this Elemental Brown too, but it's an actual ink. It's not a distressed ink, and I like the softness of the distressed ink. Okay, so we've got this and that. Okay, next step, we're going to bring out the Crop-A-Dile. Now, you don't have to have a Crop-A-Dile, but I highly suggest it because it'll save your hands. I'm not kidding. All right. And someone is deciding to call me right in the middle of a live stream, so we're just going to hit deny, decline. Okay, so this is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5. So we're going to go at 3.5 Let me get my little pencil out here. I wish I could find my flat pencil. This guy rolls away. So, and then make a mark. Okay, so that way I have a mark there. And then I flip it this way so we measured exactly the same. So 1, 2, 3.5. And this one, because this is where we're going to put the eyelet for the string to go through. So I'm going to do this one at just under 1/2 inch. So it's going to go right here. Now you could use a China marker, you can use a Sharpie, you can use a pencil. I just like a pencil because I can really mark it, but you know what? I'm going to come back with a Sharpie. I forgot, I think, or a China marker. China marker will work. These are peel off China markers. I use these for a lot of things. Okay, there, that's a little darker. I can actually see that. Okay, now let me grab the Crop-A-Dile. Okay, and we're going to move this to the 1/8 inch. And we're going to line it up. I'm going to show you this. This thing is amazing. You know what? I don't buy a lot of tools, but if it's going to make my life easier, bam. Perfect little hole. And it was like no effort. None. Like zero. Like, it's like pushing down bread in your toaster to make toast. Like, super simple. Okay, so we're going to make sure our holes line up. And they don't have to, because no one's going to notice, but I will, you know. It's just how I roll. And we're going to be using this again in a moment. So, I need to find that other scrap of blue paper. Actually, let's do, no, we can do blue. Dude, for reals. Okay, so here's the blue paper. I'm wondering if we shouldn't do like something like this. I think that'll get lost in there. Yeah, let's do, unless I have some navy blue. Well, it's some black or some dark green. That's what we could do because there's dark green thread. Let's do dark green. I just thought a pop of color would be nice. So I got this green, which I don't like for that. I've got all kinds of stuff. Very Christmassy stuff. Oh, that's where all those went. Okay, well, shoot. I need to go through this bin. Okay. All right, let's grab this tag. I was looking for those and it ended up in the junk bin. Okay, well, that's okay. Okay, so we're going to cut out. I'm going to start at this side. And I think the paper company and the punch company are in cahoots with each other because let me show you something. Okay, so this is me lining it up on my own. Okay, you see how close to the edge? Whoop. See how close to the edge I can get on that? Now, here is what the paper company or the punch company wants you to do. You see all that wasted paper? You see? That stuff adds up, man. I know, I'm just being hyper frugal because I can. Okay, so we're going to do, just in case we screw it up. Okay, so what I like to do is a couple of smaller, I call them my washers. We're going to use this. These 1/4 inch holes. Okay, so what I want to do, sorry, talking to myself again. I have whole conversations with myself. Okay, so we're going to call these little washers. We're just going to make them out of the green paper. Okay. And then we're going to line these up. Looks about right. And these aren't going to be seen, so if they don't turn out perfect, it's okay. This is just so we can see. I know that's not going to work. That doesn't, yeah. So this one, this is how I do this. So I line it up like that, and then I look at the side. So I kind of try and get it as close to center. I am not going to measure it because that's not cool. So I'm a little bit off, but that's okay by me. And then we're going to take these and we're going to make this so it'll hold up. Okay. And we're just going to glue them together. And the reason why I always do one first, I just do the one first, is so if I screw it up, I'm not screwing up three of them. I'm just screwing up the one. See? Planning. It's all about planning. It's knowing your weaknesses and going with it. Okay, so we're going to glue these together. And this is Fabri-Tac, which is this stuff. You can get this at Walmart now, at least the Walmarts in our area, for $9.99 a bottle. Get you some. This stuff is amazing. Okay. The only thing is it's kind of like, what is it called? Hot glue, where it gets kind of stringy. But this is an acetone-based glue versus a water-based glue. So if you have allergies to things, you're going to want to use gloves. Use it in a well-ventilated area. But I honestly, this stuff like kills my headaches. Maybe it's because I'm crafting and that's why my headaches go away. I'm creating and whatnot and what have you. The thing I like about this, though, you see how there's a little bit of glue right there? Is that once this sets up a little bit, I can just go in. Yeah, see, it's still wet. I just can go in and rub it, and it makes it happy. So we're going to let this sit for a minute, let it set up. And while this is setting up, because this dries really fast, especially when you only use a few drops of it. So I got these off of Amazon. These are the little eyelets, and they came in a baggie. Okay, I sat out here for an hour and sorted them by color. So I'm just going to pull out this green one here. And do you see? It's tiny. These are little 1/8 inch ones, and they don't work perfect with the Crop-A-Dile, but I refuse to pay exorbitant amounts for brand name stuff. So we got a little washer. Yeah. If you're interested in knowing which ones I got specifically, let me know and I'll send you a link. Okay, so this should be dry now. And we can just take this and rub it. And it's great because it just rubs right off. It's still a little wet. How do you like those donuts? Okay. But it's nice and sturdy. Give it a little love. Okay, and we're going to give it a little bit more love. We're going to take this black. Because I don't like white edges. I don't like that. When it's colored paper, it should be colored paper all the way through. But you don't know that until you buy something, you know? Like, I'm going to start walking into Michael's and ripping the edges of the paper just to see if it's colored all the way through. We're going to distress this with some black just to help it not look so raggedy. Well, we're trying to make it look raggedy, but not raggedy. That made no sense whatsoever. Good job, Tish. So this is a brush from someplace. And I've used it so much now that I've wore the product of it off. I have the same brand Sculpture Paste spatulas, but I can't find them right now. So, but you can use chip brushes. I do it all the time. That's what these are. These are just 1-inch chip brushes that one's not labeled, but I only have one red, so I know I'm good. But I label them which ink I used with them, and I have a whole little cup right here that holds them. Okay, so we're going to line this back up, punch our hole, and then, oh shoot, I knew that was going to happen because I put it away. Go. It fell on the floor. Okay, we're just going to grab this again and grab another green one. I'll look for it later. Okay. This is the part where having chubby fingers is an issue, but ta-da! This is why tweezers are nice. Okay, so I'm going to hang on to this with the tweezer until I get it in the paper. There we go. See, these are just that hair too big, but with a little bit of forcing. And you don't have to, it's not a lot. It's not a lot of forcing. Okay, so the key to doing these well is to make sure everything is pushed up as far as it'll go. Okay, and we're going to switch our Crop-A-Dile here. And I already have it set to the thing that I need, I think. So we're going to double check. Always double check, because you don't want to ruin what you just worked on. So we have a 1/8 inch eyelet and washers, so C4. So C4. Okay, so there's, you can't see it right here, and I'm going to be doing a video for this, so, and then C4, and then what I do is I take the washer, because it's such a little pill, okay, I put that down, that on the Crop-A-Dile, okay. And then I take all of this and I smush it all together. Hang on, I'll show you in a second. Let me smush it. I smush it all together. Okay. And then I kind of press this down a little bit so I can find the pin, and then once I get it all lined up, then I smush. There we go. See, there's the back. There's the front. And I wanted it off the edge a little bit. That's why I did it like that. Because I like that, like it breaks up that edge. So now this is a little bit easier. We're going to take another green one. So it's probably a good thing I did. And then we're going to grab a washer. Just one, please. Thank you. Okay, and we're going to lay the washer down. Okay. And then I'm not doing any reinforcements on this. You can if you want, but I don't think I need to. So again, we're going to push that down until we get the little pin set, and then we're going to push it down until we get it all set. Give it a little wiggle, make sure it's in there, and then smush it down. Okay, that one didn't work as well. But we can, the thing is we can kind of wiggle it and then bring the pin down again, bring it all down again, and give it another smush. Now I'm using two hands just because I'm sitting down while I'm doing this. There, that's much better. Okay, so there's that and that. So there's our cover. There's our back because we've got that green string. So we did some green to help bring that string color out. Okay. And we are done with the crocodile for now. So we're going to get this out of the way. I have my pegboard behind me, so everything is just, when you're designing your kitchen, when you're designing your workspace, you think of the things that you're using the most, like your glue, your ruler, your punches, and you want them all within arm's reach. So sometimes you can't have it all in front of you. So that's when drawers down beside you and a pegboard behind you helps add to that space, because like right now I'm sitting on like a bar stool type thing, because I do have my tables elevated so they're countertop height. So I have a bar stool and I can just turn around in my bar stool and get the stuff behind me. So, you know, even if you put your desk in the middle of the room, people are going to be like, why is your desk in the middle of the room? But you can come around your desk and it gives you more space. And I don't know, maybe I'm just weird because my tables are in the middle of the room. I have tables on the walls too. So it's kind of crowded in here. That's why Michael doesn't come out here, I think. Okay, so our next step is to add the envelopes, the pockets. Okay, let's clean up our workspace a little bit because we can always grab what we need later. I don't know. I'm a klutz and I know it, so there we go. And that goes there. Okay, so again, we're going to I'm going to grab my little piece of cardboard here. So we're going to do the front pocket. Okay, and I always just put a little bit of this Fabri-Tac on because you don't need very much. That's why I have it in this bottle, because it comes out too fast in that one. I have no control of how fast it comes out. So I just put a little bit down and then I spread it out. Put a little bit down and then I stop squeezing and spread it out. Okay. There we go. Got a little bit much on that one. That's okay. And then over. There we go. There's our first pocket. And we're just going to press it down really well and then let it sit. Okay. I'm going to do this pocket and turn it the way I want it. So I can just put the glue on and then transfer and push and, oh wait, we need to do the string before we do this pocket. So, see, I am thinking sort of. So what I do, this is this kind of crochet, say what it is? No. Crafted with pride in the USA, that's all it says. Whoop. Hey, there we go. How do you like that? It's not. This cone is made in the USA, but this cone is made with care in the UK. But this is quality Panama color white dye number Yeoman yarns. So this is a crocheting yarn. So, and it's cotton. It feels like cotton anyway. It might be a cotton poly blend, but this piece is coffee stained. So we're going to take and measure out. I measure out 15 inches, double it up. Okay. You want to do this because we're going to be gluing over that hole. So you want to have your, hey, you know what we can do? We can put this on here. Ha ha ha. There we go. Brilliant. There we go. Now it's out of my way. Yay. All right, let's move this out of the way. And then all I do is, I don't know if you're going to be able to see. See how there's like a little loop right there? Okay. So I'm going to come up from the front or from the outside, I guess. Really? You're going to be like that? Okay. There we go. So I come in, okay, make my loop, take my other loop, put it through once, okay, and then I'm going to pull it just a little bit, like 2 fingers. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it through again. Okay, I'm going to put it through again. And then I have this loop that's between the front and the back. I'm going to pull this tight. Okay, so we have the original loop, and then I pull it through that loop. So there's kind of a knot right there. And then I pull it all tight. And you don't want it too tight because you don't want like stress on that eyelet. And we're going to be gluing this down, so you don't need a lot of tension. But I like the way that knot looks. But it's tied off, but it's more of a decorative thing than a strength thing. Okay, so we're going to put a little dot of glue on this so it stays in our spot. Just a little dot right there. Gonna go around here. Okay. Now we're going to keep this in mind when we're placing this because we want this to come up in the hole. Okay. Do, 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 do. Thing I'm not understanding is my hands have been cramping a lot lately, But why is my left hand cramping? I'm right-handed. I use my left hand for very little. But it's the one that cramps the most. I don't know. It's weird. Okay. So we want to keep in mind that we want this paper to show through that hole. So we're going to make sure that that paper is what we're going to see when we flip it over. And also, I forgot to mention that when we were measuring it out, but okay. So I'm going to go in there that it's down. Okay. This is a big enough pocket where I don't think that eyelet's going to really matter, but I want to take my little tool here, and we'll probably put a piece of tape over that. If you want, you could. I'm not going to. So you can't really see it. It's just a little detail, just a little detail. And now we got our string ready to go. Okay. We're not going to put this on until we're doing the embellishing. We'll do that later. So we're going to put some art paper in here. And if I remember correctly, we are 10 1/4. So we're going to cut our paper at 10 and fold it in half. Okay, let's get that out of the way. So I'm going to use dude, for real. Stuff is falling. The sky is falling. Okay, so I have this mixed media paper. Okay. Like really everything's falling. That's okay. And I have this newsprint paper, but I think we're going to, newsprint's kind of flimsy. And I want this to be kind of hardy. This is 14 by 11 inches. So I think this is 6. Yeah. So we'd be able to get 4 pages. So let's do 2. Okay. So there's one piece of paper. Fold it. There we go. Okay. That back down there where it belongs. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take one of these. And what I like to do, so this is 14, this is 11. So we're going to cut this side. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to cut it in strips. We're going to cut, we need 6 inches. So I'll move this out of the way. There we go. Okay. So one of the things that I made this last week is a tearing ruler. So when we go to tear, So we've got this kind of ruffled edge here. Oh, wait. We want this, hang on. This is how I did the last one, and I think it looked really cool. So we're gonna do, let's see. It's 6 by 10. So 6. One. Okay, and then we're gonna put this in the scrap bin. So there's 2 pages. Maybe we'll do 2 more after this. I don't know. So 6. Okay. We're all pretty close to the same. So we've got a full inch. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this tear. We're going to tear off half or 1 inch strips. So it's 10. We're going to do 1 just to make sure that we have it the right. We did it the right way, because I've done that before, and we don't want to, go get any further than what we need to be. So take this and just tear this edge off. Okay, so that should be 10. And then we're going to take this and we're going to fold it in half. So. And I'm just finger pressing it. And actually, we could have it be, no, we'll leave it at that, because they're going to stick out a little bit as we go. So that fits pretty good. There's a little bit of a gap, a little bit more of a gap at the top and the bottom than I would like, but it looks really good. So now what I've done to this edge, just because I don't want that straight, I don't want a completely straight edge, but I don't want to be sitting here ripping paper for the next millennia. Sanding block. Okay. So it's got roughed up, it's got a texture to it, and there you go. So, and then once we stick these into each other, they're going to kind of stack out a little bit. So we'll get that edge that sticks out a little bit, which is, I like that look. So that's my style that I'm going to go for. So let's do the rest of these, get the rest of these ripped up, and then we'll sew in the signature, and then we'll be done. Holy Hannah, we've been here forever. All right, so and this is the nice thing about this, having this grid here, is I can make it, for the most part, square. So just lift this up and then use it to tear. And it's not perfect, and that's kind of what we're going for. That's why you don't want to fold it too hard. And then I use the fold as my guide. Okay. To like the little fold that we, like the crease. I guess you wouldn't really call it a fold. It's more of a crease. and then I match up the straight edge with that. So what we want to do, there we go. So just give it a little crease just so you can pair it. And then I'm just going to use the side of this and kind of straighten out that crease, but not so much that I can't see it to fold the paper. Okay, I'm going to put these together. Yeah, let's see how that looks. We might do another set real quick, just because I want to add one more page. Let's see how bulky it is. Now to make this ruler, I just used one that was already cracked because I'm not going to be using it to measure. So, and I put it's gummy bear duct tape. I put some duct tape on it so it didn't crack any further. And went with it, yeah. Because gummy bears are the source of happiness for millions of people. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to take this there we go. Kind of roughs it up a little bit, makes it cool, but we're also going to alternate them. Okay. So that goes there like that. I think we need to add one more page. I just feel like we need to add one more page, or like 2 more pages. Yeah, we're going to do that really quick. Well, sort of really quick. I don't do anything really quick. Now I want chocolate milk because we're talking about quick. No, Tish, you're talking about quick. Okay, so and I buy these art pads when Hobby Lobby has them 50% off. So it was $20. Normal regular price, I paid $10 for 60 sheets. So that's like what, 6 cents a sheet? Cents a sheet? I don't even know. Okay. Do it this way. Okay. There we go. Now that we know what we're doing, it goes a little faster. Line it up with it doesn't matter what increment you have it on, just as long as it's squared-ish. Line it up to tear off 1 inch. Crease it. There we go. There's one. And I left the perforation. I think it looks cool, but I'm weird that way. And we might be using the sanding block again, depending on how these signatures sew in, because we are going to sew these in really quick. It won't take long at all. So that way, all we have to do next week is embellish. And I'm going to find some spots that have some good spots in it. There we go. All right. There we go. The edge, press that back down. Oh, and it got caught. That's okay. There we go, all fixed. Okay, that's going to give us our guideline. So I use that line right there. And then I just make sure my sides are lined up. And we just finger press it. All right. Let's grab this again. Curvy. Straight. Okay. So okay. There we go. Well, it's nice and flat. Yeah, I like that better now. I feel like by the time you put all the art and stuff in there, it's going to be like this massive little thing. So, but if you don't do collage, if you just want a doodle pad, it's suitable for that too. And here's the thing, it's just going to have a pamphlet stitch on it. It's not going to be super fancy, but you can take the stitching out and take the papers out and put different papers in. So you don't have to even leave it the way it is. Okay, so this is how I'm going to do this. I'm going to show you really fast. First, I need to find my clips. I thought I had some on my... Oh, I used them on a different project. Okay, now I see where they're at. Okay. So, I don't want those ones. I want the other ones. The clamps, not the clips. Okay. Kicking stuff. So I have these. I got these at the dollar store, and they actually work really well. Okay. So we're going to do this. I'm going to show you the quick and easy way to put your signatures in. And it works pretty well. So, line it up to where you want it. Take your clamps or your clips or your whatevers. Hold it in place. I'm actually going to grab one of these clips too, because we're going to do one here. Hold it in place. Okay. And then this is where your awl comes in. Really handy. And sons of... And the dropping stuff begins. Anyway. Okay, so we're going to hold it like this. Let's do a really quick measure so we get it at least approximately where we want to be. Let's move this guy down a little bit. Okay, so we're going to be... So we're at 6, so we want Where's my pencil? There it is. So we're going to go in 3/4 of an inch here, 3/4 of an inch here, half would be 3. We make our marks. Okay, we make sure that our marks, do it on the side here because that was making a bunch. So we look down at it, we make sure our marks are in the fold, okay, and we keep it folded up as best we can, and then we just punch our holes. You can't do this with the crocodile. Well, you could try, but we don't want gigantic holes. So I'm going to take this coffee stained thread, and I'm just going to leave it long for now. And I'm not going to put any wax on it because it doesn't really need it. And I'm going to grab my little needle and thread my little needle. Okay, and I'm just leaving a little bit of a tail. And then it's like really long. This is probably 2 yards long. Okay, I need coffee. Hang on. This part always makes me nervous for whatever reason. Okay. So, I gotta think about this for a second. Okay, so we go right. Go through the middle. Okay. This is they call this a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. There's a 5-hole pamphlet stitch, a 7-hole pamphlet stitch, all kinds of them. But the thing that I found is the most important is have everything clamped down. Okay, so now we're going to do the bottom. Go to the bottom. And we're going to punch, we're going to push on through, break on through to the other side. Okay, so we're leaving that tail. Then we went in through the bottom. Okay, so we came in through here, or out through here, going in through here. You know, wiggle it a little bit. There we go. We're going to pull. Here's another reason why clamps are handy. We're going to do clamp to hold that string. So we can pull this tight-ish. You don't want it too tight because you don't want to rip your holes. And then we're going to go in through this top hole. We're going to go out to the big old wide world. And then we're going to pull this, we're going to pull up so we're not ripping the paper. Just pull up so it's taut. And then we're going to go in the middle hole again. We're going to push that string to the side. There we go. So this string is on this side of the middle string, and then this side, this needle is coming up on this side of, so the string is on this side of that middle string, and the needle's on this side of that little string. So here we go. I'm going to pull this up. Okay. And then we're going to take this clamp off, these clamps off because we don't need them anymore. And then pull this middle string until, and this is something that I'm going to do with all my books, I think, because I'm going to leave it up to you guys. I'm going to leave about 4 inches of string hanging down, and that way you guys have that creative liberty to add charms, or you can cut off your strings or do whatever you want with it. There we go. That's tight. Okay, so Now, we should be where we're nice. A little bit of wiggle room, but I'm okay with that because I don't want to rip this paper. And we're actually going to put a drop of glue in just to make sure. So we're going to pull one up, pull this one up on these. Make sure that we're all nice and tight. See, now here's where you could put, you know, use your Crop-A-Dile and put actual rivets in here, or eyelets. I don't have an actual spine on this book. There we go. Now we're nice and tight. Okay. So I'm actually going to cut this off so it makes life easier. Take these two. Okay. So I'm just going to tie, I think it's called a square knot. I don't know. So, all those years my dad was in the Navy and he never taught me how to tie knots, really. He taught me how to tie my shoes. Way. There we go. Okay, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a practice run string. There we go. And then before we go here, I'm just going to show you, this is what I do just to reinforce it. I know it looks cool already. I'm just so excited about this. Okay, so just because I'm me and I want people to have the best user experience with my art, with the functional art. Is I'm just putting a little tiny dot of glue. And this stuff dries clear. Just a little tiny dot of glue. And then I'm just going to kind of tap it. So it blends in and you don't even notice it. And the only people that are going to know that it's actually there are you, me, and the trees. So and that just, I think that just helps keep it, the stitching. But there we go. That's what we did today. We took our beginning papers and cut them down. And this is kind of like a leather portfolio, you know, those flexible folios. I really like that. We put a pocket in. We've put our pages in. You know, we've got these really cool art pages and lots of them. And then we've got this back. And then, so next week we will make a couple of, I will make some embellishments to go on it. Oh, crikeys. Here we go. I think I might just, hang on, just because I'm me. Let's do one thing because I know me. Okay, 3 times around. Actually, that's pretty close to where we want it. So we're going to tie a knot right here. That's just how I know where my embellishments need to stop. And it's not a perfect science. It's just kind of wherever it ends up, really. But this way it makes winding those 2 strings a little bit easier. And the more times we do it, the better it's going to be. So yeah, my embellishments will be like right here after you do 3 twists. So that one was 4. I don't know what I was thinking. But so it already looks really cool. You could give this as a gift as it is right now. But because I'm me, we're gonna zhuzh this up a little bit. And this is going to go to a lucky member on the 18th. Holy crap. That's only a week away. Anywho, there's that. And we'll be back next week. We're going to, I mean, I think this will look cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But we take and make a paper clip like this to put in here, along with our embellishments, one that kind of goes with the book. But yeah, so that way you have a bookmark, or you can use it to, you know, put more paper in here, you know, like this. You know, it'll hold your little note in there, you know, your whatever you want to use for your collage or whatever. So yeah, we're going to make some of these hidden paper clips. I can get it off. There we go. To put in this book. And then we're going to embellish the front and put something on the pockets too, just kind of to dress it up. We might make a clip, a tag, a bookmark, whatever you want to call it, and a tag to go and have them kind of match. You know me and matching. I don't match, but there's a feel. They have a similar feel. Goodness gracious, Tish, what is your deal? I think I might have to go down to just one string. Kiss my brain. There we go. Okay, so join us next week, and I promise I won't keep you so long. I'll probably have more things ready. I think I had everything ready this morning, but it's just it's a process, y'all. And I keep knocking stuff over. So that's time for me to go in and get a snack. And Lord help me. Okay. Got everything covered, all the lids back on the ink. You guys have a fantastic day. We will see you tonight for Friday Night Flip Cup. And hopefully you'll get some time to join us on Saturday for our Creators Tribe live stream, where I'll just kind of hang out and be us. So thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you every day. I really, really do. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for giving us your time and just being you. Go out there and be awesome, y'all. Peace, love, and happiness.